My sister-in-law is Xuejing, a lowly village healer from a remote border town. She should never have crossed paths with my elder brother, a noble young master from a prestigious clan. But once, while leading troops into battle, my brother got wounded and collapsed right outside her doorway. Before passing out, he begged her to fetch a doctor for him. Little did anyone know, she'd tend to his wounds herself. It was not a life-threatening injury, yet strict customs of our land forbade female healers from treating men. A male doctor lived next door to her, but she chose to treat him on her own. She saw and touched my brother's injured leg. When my brother woke up, he was utterly stunned. Shocked as he was, our CF family lived by rigid rules. Once father heard the whole story and learned my brother was her very first patient, he sent matchmakers over the very next day to deliver a marriage proposal. Mother and I were far away in the capital back then. By the time news reached us, it was already too late to change anything. Tears rolled down Sister Lu's cheeks like glistening pearls, and my heart ached watching her cry. She came to rely on our household at 14. Well-educated, gentle, and thoughtful, she'd blush furiously whenever she met my brother's gaze. Mother watched them closely, planning to arrange their wedding once my brother returned home. But now, Mother gritted her teeth and snarled, "What a scheming woman. If she's dead set on marrying into this family, I'll show her exactly how tough being a daughter-in-law can be." I'd spent 3 years alongside Sister Lu, so I stood firmly on her side. "Don't forget you've also got a difficult sister-in-law waiting for her," I added. Our family are military folk, plain-spoken by nature. Still, Mother sought advice from others on how to discipline the new bride. Yet when she finally met Xuejing, the girl turned out to be even more straightforward than us. She had a blunt, unrefined face, nowhere near as soft and beautiful as Sister Lu. Upon our first meeting, she greeted us cheerfully. "Greetings, mother-in-law. My husband worried you'd be lonely at home, so he sent me back early to care for you." Mother simply hummed coldly and ordered her to stand in the main hall, claiming she planned to take an afternoon nap. An elderly matriarch from the neighboring estate taught her this trick. She said making the bride stand for hours would crush her spirit immediately. But Xuejing stood ramrod straight, not bending her waist even an inch, for 2 whole hours. Mother and I waited inside the room, our stomachs rumbling with hunger, yet the girl never showed the slightest hint of weariness. Left with no choice, Mother ordered servants to serve dinner. We sat comfortably at the table while forcing her to remain standing. She had to pick whichever dish Mother pointed out. Even after enduring this torment through the whole meal, her expression never shifted. I grew furious and hissed at her secretly. "Don't think you can get away with pretending to be obedient for just one day. There are far more rules waiting for you later." She blinked, then asked me earnestly, "Do I have to follow all these rules to be Xieli Nguyen's wife?" Her tone was so sincere that I looked away, feeling a twinge of guilt, yet I stubbornly snapped back, "Of course. These are the standards for proper wives in respected capital families. Daughters-in-law must obey." She nodded slowly. "Very well. I will obey." Xuejing truly kept her word. Mother demanded she rise before dawn to prepare fresh soup, so she got up even earlier. If one pot tasted unsatisfactory, she'd remake it 10 times over. Mother claimed my brother faced danger on the battlefield and needed prayers from his family. She knelt in the prayer hall all day long. Her legs swelled and bruised, yet she kept copying sacred scriptures without pause. Now, even I felt guilty, and Mother muttered to herself, "Is this girl foolish? Why doesn't she lose her temper with us?" Most of the time, Xuejing seemed quiet and unassuming. Only occasionally would she zone out staring at a set of silver acupuncture needles. These were tools for a healer's needle therapy. She treasured them deeply, boiling them to sterilize every time she finished using them. There were female healers in the capital, but they held low status, and most were far less skilled than male physicians. I assumed she was no different. She only managed to save my brother because his injury was mild to begin with. I never imagined those needles would one day be used on Mother. On that day, Mother suffered a severe asthma attack. The royal physician prescribed standard medicine to ease her pain, yet she still tossed and turned, unable to rest. It was a daughter-in-law's duty to nurse her sick mother-in-law. I stayed beside mother's bed, consumed with worry. Under flickering candlelight, while mother drifted between sleep and wakefulness, Shuejing pulled out her needles. I eyed her warily, but she whispered softly, "Sister, don't wake mother. I can ease her pain.
Trust me."
Before I could react, she moved swiftly, sticking needles all over mother's head and chest, leaving her looking like a prickly hedgehog. I panicked, convinced she planned to take revenge on mother. But then I listened closely. Mother's breathing had grown calm and steady. Shuejing grinned proudly.
"See?
I'm good at this, right?" The royal physician treated mother normally, yet Shuejing's treatment worked even better. Reluctantly, I admitted, "You are fairly skilled." Yet after hearing my praise, her smile faded. "Yes, I'm capable. So why do all the capital's customs stop women like me from practicing medicine?" I had no answer for her. She might have been allowed to heal others if she'd married a common household, but as a bride of a powerful noble clan, it was strictly forbidden. Thankfully, she cheered herself up quickly. She smiled softly. "It doesn't matter. If this is the price to marry your brother, I'm willing to pay it." Once she started talking, Shuejing rambled on and told me so much. Her parents were killed by northern invaders when she was little. She wanted to join the army, but women were not allowed to serve. Then she thought soldiers would get wounded in battles. She could learn medicine and heal those brave warriors risking their lives. She kowtowed countless times before an old mountain healer agreed to take her as his apprentice. She trained hard morning and night. She turned 18 before her master led her head down the mountain. Her master taught her healing knows no difference between men and women, yet he never knew the outside world followed different rules. She only saved my brother, and matchmakers soon came knocking at her door. Shuejing blushed softly. "I saw your brother once. He sat tall on a steed, leading troops to fight the northern invaders. He defeated many enemies. He's Tongqing's greatest hero. I dreamed of marrying him. Before I left for the capital, villagers said I struck gold. Men from the capital are picky about wives. They told me not to shame everyone from Tongqing. I know I'm far from the perfect capital wife you expect, but for your brother's sake, I will learn everything earnestly." She looked up nervously, asking about all the strict rules. "Little sister, have I learned all the capital customs well enough? Will your brother grow tired of me?" She never realized mother, and I kept making things hard for her. She only wanted to be a worthy wife who would not embarrass my brother. For Sister Lu, I should have told her my brother would never care for her. But my throat felt tight. Reluctantly, I spoke. "Well, you learn faster than I do. If my future in-laws treated me this harshly someday, I would definitely ask my brother to stand up for me." Shuejing pulled me into a happy hug. "That won't happen. With mother guiding you, you'll be much better than me. You owe people when they do you a favor. A daughter-in-law is meant to care for her mother-in-law, but she did save mother's life. Even if we still did not treat her as family, we could not keep pushing harsh rules onto her." Sister Lu said gently, "This is for the best. Sister Shui has married my cousin. It pains me to see Annie make things difficult for her, even though she cares for me deeply." Since Sister Lu let go of her resentment, the household fell into quiet peace. The calm did not last long. My brother finally came home. Shuejing was overjoyed the moment she heard the news. Her happiness was genuine. When my brother stepped through the front gate, her eyes lit up watching him. That pure, satisfied joy was something I never saw even on Sister Lu's face. Yet my brother looked at her with cold indifference. Only when he glanced at Sister Lu did sorrow flicker across his face. My mind cleared at once. No matter how skilled Shuejing was at medicine, she was the villain. She tore apart two people who loved each other. Mother stared at her beloved son, walking around him to check his condition. Her eyes grew watery. "Poor boy.
Just like your father."
"Battles have worn you thin and dark. While you stay home, I'll prepare nourishing meals for you." My brother returned to gather army supplies. He would leave again in 1 month. As soon as Shuejing heard about nourishing food, she spoke quickly. "Mother-in-law, leave this to me. I am a healer. I know all about healing food. I felt sorry for my brother and refused to let Shuejing have her way. You don't know what my brother likes. In this manner, Sister Lu knows exactly how to please him with meals. Sister Lu clutched her handkerchief softly. If needed, I am willing to help my cousin. Mother looked between them and prioritized her son. She patted Sister Lu's hand. Good girl, I'll rely on you for this. Mother's words settled everything. Shuejing fell silent. But every time Sister Lu guided kitchen maids, Shuejing lingered nearby, scribbling notes in her small notebook non-stop. While writing, she chatted with Sister Lu. Thank you, Sister Lu. You work so hard cooking for my husband. Once I learn all his favorite dishes, you won't need to trouble yourself anymore. Those words stabbed straight into Sister Lu's heart. She could not hold back her tears and ran away. Even then, Shuejing pretended to be confused and hurried over to me. Little sister, why did Miss Lu cry? Did I say something wrong? Anger flared up inside me, and I spoke without thinking. Has it never crossed your mind? Before he married you, my brother loved someone else. Shuejing stared at me and shook her head firmly. I never thought of that. Before I agreed to marry him, I asked if there was anyone he loved. He said no, so I accepted. Your brother is a general.
He would not lie.
I know he does not love me yet, but as long as no one holds his heart, I still have a chance. She always wore that simple, honest look that made people want to trust her. I believed her again. I rushed to find my brother, confused. Before your wedding, why didn't you tell Shuejing your heart belongs to Sister Lu? My brother let out a bitter laugh. Do you think she's innocent? I used to believe that too. When I woke up at her house, I begged her to keep my treatment a secret and give me time to think. She agreed. But soon, everyone in Tongcheng heard the story. You know father's temperament. Once he learned of it, I lost all choice. Worse, we were out on campaign. If I refused to marry her, the whole town would claim the Xie family betrayed our savior. How could I command soldiers then? She planned to climb up the social ladder through me, and she succeeded. This woman hides her true intentions. If she found out about Cousin Lu, who knows what trouble she would cause? Cousin Lu still needs a clean reputation to marry well. I refused to bring more chaos into her life. That made sense. Sister Lu needed an unblemished reputation for marriage. No wonder Mother ordered servants never to mention the old feelings once news of the wedding arrived. My brother commanded thousands of troops. He judged people far better than I could. There must be truth to his words about Shuejing's double nature. Yet bitterness lingered in his heart. He claimed heavy official duties kept him away. He avoided Shuejing's chambers and slept only in his study. Slowly, rumors spread through the manor. People whispered the couple never shared a wedding night back in Tongcheng. Their marriage was nothing but a show. Mother was shocked once she heard the gossip. She summoned Changfu, the servant who followed my brother to war. Changfu stammered nervously. It's not that the young master refused. Enemy troops attacked right on their wedding day. The general grabbed his spear and rushed into battle. Later, the young madam traveled back to the capital. Everything got delayed. Mother waved him away and sank into silence. We all knew how things stood. Even with wartime duties, my brother had stayed home for days. No matter how busy he was, he needed somewhere to rest at night. He simply chose to avoid her. Mother sighed softly. Your brother acted foolishly. If he truly opposed this marriage, he should never have wed her. Now that they are married, pushing her aside makes him look unreasonable. I have to fix this mess. Mother's tests for Shuejing were common methods for mothers-in-law in the capital. Many noble families did the same. It was not outright humiliation. But a husband refusing to share a wife's chambers was deep shame for any woman. Shuejing was wrong for her schemes. My brother was wrong to humiliate her. Neither side was blameless. Mother lost all her anger. She only hoped the two would finally become a real married couple. The first step to make my brother settle down was arranging a marriage for Sister Lu. Mother held her hands gently. Dear child, fate kept you and Lin Yuan apart. Rest assured, I will find you a promising, worthy husband. Sister Lu lowered her head with red eyes. I will follow whatever you decide. Sister Lu's mother was Mother's closest childhood friend, and they were distant relatives. Sister Lu had no surviving family left. When Mother sought marriage candidates for her, she presented her as the noble mansion's young cousin. Mother picked carefully. She only chose families with simple backgrounds, steady wealth, and honorable, ambitious young men. No one could question Sister Lu's origins this way. She would not suffer hardship and could look forward to a good life. Mother handed all matters related to my brother's daily care over to Xuejing. She said more time together would let feelings grow between them. Xuejing took this task seriously. She visited the study several times each day, bringing all kinds of nourishing soups she learned to make for my brother. No one expected these soups would trigger huge trouble. The sun hung high that day. Mother and Sister Lu settled on the final marriage candidate. Before everything was confirmed, Sister Lu begged me to accompany her to the study. She wanted one last talk with my brother. She always followed etiquette. With me there, no one could spread gossip. When we stepped inside, my brother stared blankly at a bowl of soup Xuejing had just delivered. He showed no desire to drink it. Sister Lu walked forward, stirred the soup gently, and held it out to him with a soft smile. "Cousin, drink it. We all need to move forward." She was urging him to accept Xuejing. My brother looked at her for a long time. Then he tilted his head back and finished every drop of the soup. I quietly stepped out of the study and waited in the yard, leaving them to speak privately. Less than half an hour passed before strange noises came from within. Sister Lu's voice trembled, loud yet restrained. "Cousin, what's wrong? Let me go. Xiao Yu, come help me." The moment I heard her call, I pushed the door open without hesitation. My brother was pressing Sister Lu against the desk, half of her clothing undone. Fear surged through me, but I rushed forward to pull him away. He acted like he was intoxicated and could not control himself. Desperate, I knocked him unconscious with an inkstone. He fell still, while Sister Lu broke down in endless tears. I could not fix this disaster alone. I had to fetch Mother. Inside the small room, Mother looked at the messy scene and sank heavily into a chair. "Inghe is an innocent young lady. What are we going to do? How could this happen?" Cold water splashed across my brother's face and woke him up. Mother stared at him, heartbroken. "You foolish boy. Look what you've done. How will I ever explain this to his mother when I pass away?" My brother was still dazed. It took a moment for him to recall everything. His face darkened, and he shouted at Chongfu, "Bring Xuejing here at once." Mother was sharp-witted. She immediately understood his meaning, shocked. "Do you believe your wife caused this?" My brother said nothing, only staring at the soup bowl shattered on the floor. Sister Lu calmed her weeping and whispered uncertainly. Cousin seemed barely conscious back then. I was still an unmarried young girl, yet Mother taught me many things to protect myself. Mind-altering potions were one of them. Decent people never used such things. But some desperate men and women tried to force relationships by taking advantage of such tricks to secure favorable marriages. My brother had never shared a bed with Xuejing, and Xuejing was a healer. She was the one who brought the soup. Anyone with common sense would suspect she slipped medicine into the soup to force intimacy. Once the potion took effect, no matter how much my brother disliked her, Mother would have no choice but to send him to her chambers secretly. Even as husband and wife, this was a despicable trick. Worse still, her scheme hurt innocent Sister Lu. Sister Lu already lost all her family. She had suffered enough. I felt overwhelming guilt. I once thought Xuejing might not be so bad. The second Xuejing walked through the door, I clenched my fists and charged at her. "Give my brother back to Sister Lu. You shameless woman." She had entered with a light smile. After my attack, she looked around the chaotic room, utterly confused. "What is happening? Little sister, did I upset you?" I would no longer trust her innocent act. If she were truly simple-minded, she would never have married into our household. Mother flew into a rage and shouted sharply, "Xue, get on your knees." Xuejing knelt down, still confused. "Mother-in-law, did I fail to follow another rule?" Mother pointed at the broken bowl on the ground. "Did you bring this soup to the study?" Xuejing nodded. I added nourishing herbs. They help heal my husband's old battle wounds. She kept pretending ignorance. My brother let out a bitter laugh. Herbs? Or shameless tricks disguised as medicine? My brother never spoke harshly to Xuejing, even when he disliked her. This blunt mockery stunned her. She stared at him as if seeing a stranger. She picked up a shard from the bowl and smelled it carefully. Can you not recognize medicinal ingredients? There are only astragalus and codonopsis inside. Her smile faded quickly as she lifted her head in shock. Who could be so cruel to add harmful substances here? Mother managed the household. She had already sent her most trusted nanny, Aunt Tian, to question the kitchen staff. Aunt Tian stepped forward. I spoke with everyone in the kitchen. Young Madam handled every step personally, from preparing ingredients to simmering and delivering the soup. No other person touched it. If you disagree, we can summon the kitchen servants to testify. Only then did Xuejing grasp the accusation. She stared firmly at my brother. Xie Yuan, I did not do this.
It wasn't me.
Someone must have tampered with the soup after I brought it to the study. Think carefully. Who else touched this bowl? Sister Lu had calmed down, but these words filled her with despair. She trembled as she looked toward Xuejing. Sister Xue, heaven watches all we do. I only carried the soup to my cousin. I truly hoped you two could get along. How can you frame me for such a shameful act? Do you want to drive me to my death? Right after speaking, she suddenly stood up and rushed toward the wall, ready to crash into it. She moved fast with terrible force. I reached out but failed to catch her. My heart nearly stopped. Luckily, my brother reacted faster. He blocked the wall with his body and pulled Sister Lu into his arms. Xuejing panicked and reached out to check Sister Lu's pulse. I didn't say it was you. I did not know you touched the soup. Let me check if you are hurt. No one believed her anymore. My brother swatted her hand away. Everyone stared at her coldly. Tears streamed down Xuejing's face. She looked at my brother. Xie Yuan, I learned from a master and live by strict healer's rules. I would never use my medical skills for something like this. Her eyes were full of longing, begging him to trust her. But my brother spoke coldly. Your healer's code? Would your master approve of you using medicine to trap a man? First you treated my wounds and shared physical contact, then spread the news all across town to force me into marriage. Xuejing, I gave in once. You are endlessly greedy. This time, I will not let the person I love suffer any longer. After my brother finished speaking, he carried Sister Lu and walked away. Mother rubbed her head wearily, and Nanny Tian helped her back to her courtyard to rest. Only Xuejing remained slumped on the ground, whispering in confusion. The one he loves? He has someone he loves? Espera here. Exactly. If you weren't shameless, Sister Lu would be my sister-in-law. You stole her beloved and hurt her like this. All healers worship the Medicine King. If the great Sun Ximiao knew about a healer like you, you would surely face punishment. No one knew when the Medicine King's retribution would come, but Mother's decision arrived soon enough. She planned to send Xuejing away through formal divorce once the war ended. She told my brother, your future wife must manage the household. Such poor character cannot be tolerated. Focus on the battlefield first. When your father returns, I will discuss this with him. Father was still on the front lines waiting for supplies. Nothing mattered more than defending the border. My brother headed back to Tongcheng, and Xuejing was placed under house arrest. A healer capable of misusing medicine was far too dangerous. Mother confined her to her courtyard and banned her from wandering freely. Sister Lu stayed in her small courtyard, quietly embroidering her wedding garments. She and my brother had shared an intimate moment. If Xuejing had not committed that terrible deed, Sister Lu would have had no choice but to become a concubine. Now she could properly marry my brother once Xuejing was sent away. I visited Xuejing occasionally. Even though we planned to divorce her, we needed to keep her safe until she left. We could not let any accident happen within the manor. At first she stayed silent. She grew thinner and thinner, her empty eyes fixed on nothing. One day, she suddenly spoke. That day, my senior fellow apprentice visited me. He shouted the news to everyone in excitement after learning I treated my first patient. I clearly asked him whether there was someone in his heart. If he had just asked me one question, I would never have stepped between him and Miss Liu. In his eyes, am I not even worth a single question? She was not talking directly to me or anyone else. She just murmured to herself, her tone heartbreaking. After that, I stopped visiting her. I did not believe her words, yet I feared my heart would soften. Days slipped by. I heard new gossip from the young servant girls. A low-ranking maid in my courtyard waved her hands dramatically. The young madam's acupuncture needles must be a gift from immortals. No matter what ailment someone has, she only needs a few quick pricks to cure it. It turned out a nanny collapsed while delivering meals to Xuejing, and Xuejing healed her instantly. Word spread among the servants. Many maids and elderly women secretly came to her for treatment. I told Mother about this.
She sighed.
It is virtuous work. Let her continue. Just keep an eye on her and make sure she stirs up no more trouble. I secretly went to see her. Xuejing was still thin, but she regained a little vitality. She smiled gently at every person who came seeking help. A twinge of sadness hit me. If all those terrible things had never happened, I would have respected her as a fine healer. 3 months after she started treating people, Xuejing sent word to Mother. She wanted to leave. She had helped countless people. After thinking it over, Mother changed the divorce notice to a mutual separation agreement. Under our kingdom's laws, parents could arrange separation or divorce on their son's behalf. On the day she left, I walked her to the manor gates. Before we stepped outside, disaster struck. Hundreds of soldiers surrounded the mansion. No one was allowed to enter or leave. I stepped forward, but Xuejing held me back. She smiled softly. Capital customs forbid young ladies from meeting unfamiliar men. Let me speak to them instead. Her smile carried a sense of relief. Compared to before, beyond her simple honesty, she looked like a fully grown woman, even though she already was one. I froze for a second, and she walked ahead. These were Imperial Guards. Their captain spoke strictly by official order. Duke Xie delayed wartime duties and fled after the battle. His whereabouts are unknown. Until he is found, the Emperor orders this manor sealed. No member of the Xie family may leave. This crime carried punishment of execution for the whole clan. A panic swept through the mansion at once. When Mother heard Father was missing, she collapsed to the ground. Xuejing brought her back to consciousness with her long acupuncture needles. Only if Mother stayed calm could our whole family hold on through this crisis. Despite overwhelming anxiety, Mother took firm control of the inner household. We employed several servants who had not signed lifelong contracts. They were not recognized as Xie family servants. While the Xie blood relatives were trapped, these servants could leave. Once they walked out, they could never return. Mother carefully instructed them which households to seek aid from. I glanced at Xuejing. Technically, she was no longer part of the Xie family either. Still, selfishly, I said nothing, afraid Mother would fall ill again. Sister Liu and I stayed beside Mother as we waited day after day. No comforting news arrived. Instead, my brother was carried back home, gravely wounded. The military doctor followed them to the doorway and said to Mother with deep guilt, "Old madam, I have failed. I cannot heal the young general's leg. I have no face to stand before you." Uncle Feng had served Father since youth. His skill treating wounds surpassed even the royal physicians in the capital. If he could not cure the injury, it almost meant my brother would never walk again. Mother sat quietly beside my brother's bed for hours. She did not cry, yet her grief hurt more than tears. Sister Liu and I took turns caring for him. But once my brother woke up, he fell into complete silence. Sister Liu knelt beside his knees and wept, asking if he was in pain. He only stared ahead without a word. Food supplies inside the manor grew scarce. We saved the best ingredients to simmer nourishing soup for him, yet he let every bowl turn cold untouched. Worse still, more soldiers surrounded the mansion a few days later. The elderly matriarch from the neighboring manor, whose residence stood very close to ours, somehow managed to toss a letter over the wall. The letter said court officials were debating our fate. We might be exiled. Mother was urged to hide silver coins to prepare for the journey. Sister Lou gripped my hand. Her fingers were ice cold. She asked in disbelief, "Auntie, will things truly become this terrible?" Mother said nothing, but her heavy expression answered every question. Mother never intended to drag Sister Lou into this suffering. She feared Sister Lou would refuse to leave, so she told me privately, "Ingha has not formally married into our family. If the worst comes, I will send her away no matter what she thinks.
Poor you, so young.
You will have to endure hardship beside me.
Do not fear.
Even in exile, Mother will always stand in front of you." But Sister Lou did not choose to stay with us. One ordinary morning, she vanished. Everyone slept far more deeply than usual that night. Breakfast was delayed. When Nanny Tian went to fetch her, her courtyard was empty. Only a letter remained on the table, addressed to my brother. Mother instantly realized something had made us sleep so heavily. She told me to watch over my brother and hurried back to her chambers to check. At the dining table, my brother opened the letter calmly. The letter read, "Cousin, I suspect you are shocked to learn what kind of woman I am. Please pass my apologies to Annie. I lack the courage to write her a separate note. Still, I do not feel fully sorry toward you. Before I turned 14, I lived with my parents. You cannot imagine what that life was like. My father failed in officialdom. He drowned himself in alcohol or visited pleasure houses every single day. My mother was once a refined young lady, yet she chose him for herself. She endured every hardship silently. Back then, I learned one truth. For a woman, money matters more than love. I once admired you truly." This story is produced exclusively by the YouTube channel Moonlit Stories. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe. You held grand dreams, and you never looked down on my humble background. I thought I was luckier than my mother, but why would you not fight even a little for me? I do not hate Xuejing for her despicable tricks that led to your marriage. Yet after quietly asking Changfu, I discovered you did not utter a single word of protest to your father before the wedding. What did I mean to you, then? If I mattered so little, I should feel no guilt for scheming to cling to your fortune. Now you have lost all your power and wealth. When disaster strikes, forgive me. I must save myself first. We part here. Let us never meet again." I barely had time to grow angry over the letter when Mother returned with a tight face. Nanny Tian said with a bitter look, "Every chest where old Madam kept banknotes is empty. That young cousin was ruthless, not leaving a single one behind." My brother set down the letter. His expression stayed flat, as if nothing could stir his emotions. That was when Xuejing walked in. She sniffed the air the moment she stepped inside. "I smell a strong sleeping potion. Did you use it as calming medicine last night because you couldn't sleep?" I could not catch the faint leftover scent, but recalling last night, I guess Luing had drugged us first before ransacking Mother's chambers. If she possessed sleeping drugs, it would not surprise me if she had other dishonest potions too. My cheeks burned. I handed her the letter and pointed at those two words, schemed. "This is the note Luing had left." She never stated it clearly, but judging from this phrase, she was the one who slipped medicine into Brother's soup back then.
I'm sorry.
"I wronged you." Xuejing's expression turned serious. She took the letter and read it from start to finish. Then she lifted her head and asked earnestly, "Am I the only one who deserves an apology?" Mother looked embarrassed, yet she spoke up. "I misjudged her character. After 3 years under my roof, I never knew I raised a greedy wolf. You suffered unfairly." Xuejing nodded. "Yes, I did." She walked over to my brother and held the letter right before his eyes. "What about you? The woman you loved framed me. Shouldn't you apologize twice? Once for yourself and once on her behalf?" My brother did not even shift his gaze, acting as if he heard nothing at all. Xuejing folded the letter and stared straight at him. "What's this? The one you loved abandoned you, and grief has robbed you of your voice? I can heal your legs. Then you can go find her, and the two of you can apologize to me together. Xie Linyuan, you may doubt my character, but you cannot slander my integrity as a healer. You owe me that apology." We were filled with guilt, yet Shuejing's words sounded reckless, like she was deliberately trying to provoke my brother. She grabbed the handles of his wheelchair and pushed him toward his room. "If you won't speak, I'll take it as agreement. Let's start with your medicinal bath." Mother stepped forward to stop her, but hesitation crept into her voice. "Is there truly hope for Li Nguyen's leg?" Shuejing glanced back. "I cannot be certain. He's a hopeless case as things stand. We can only try." She wheeled my brother into the room, ordered hot water prepared, and chased all of us outside. She even refused to let Changfu stay inside to help him undress. As she helped him remove his clothes, she said, "Listen carefully, Xia Linyuan. To a healer, there is no difference between men and women. It was true when I treated your wounds in Tongcheng, and it is true now. All right, cripple. Can you feel anything when I tap your leg?" Mother and I stood by the door, listening anxiously. Shuejing seemed like a wild deer finally free in the mountains, bold and unrefined. My brother stayed silent, so she kept teasing him. "Oh, cripple, not only are your legs broken, have you also lost your tongue? Makes sense. You can no longer ride horses. Sitting in that chair, your spear will even tower over you. How pitiful. Hey, cripple." At last, when she called him cripple once more, my brother snapped. He roared, "Get out. Leave me alone." Only 5 short words, yet they were the first thing he had said since returning home. Shuejing obeyed and stepped out. She opened the door and told Changfu, "Stay with him. Help him out after one incense stick burns down." Mother invited her to the main hall and asked nervously, "You've examined his leg. Are the chances good?" Shuejing shook her head. "I don't know. I've never treated such a severe leg injury."
But the first step worked today.
He shouted. Letting that anger out releases the heaviness trapped inside. Only then can he slowly find the will to live. Those nearly humiliating words were part of her treatment. Mother bowed deeply to Shuejing. "Very well. I trust you. Use anything in the manner you need. I will not interfere with your treatment methods from now on." Shuejing shifted awkwardly and bowed in return. "Madam Xie, as a healer, I will do everything I can." After Mother left, I stole a few glances at Shuejing. She noticed. "What is it? Do I have herbal medicine on my face?" I whispered. "You just feel different, like you've become a whole new person." She smiled. "Because I finally understood. I no longer care about all those capital rules. From today onward, I live by my own standards." Shuejing's own rules meant treating my brother like a puppet. She boiled medicine for him and cleaned his body, shifting him around like a piece of meat. Even outside the room, I could hear my brother shouting in embarrassment and anger. "Shuejing, don't touch that spot. Changfu, send Changfu in." But Shuejing shot back at him. "Your mother left you in my care. I decide who helps you." She wheeled him outside to soak up sunlight, sometimes leaving him alone there. She would hide in a corner watching, only stepping forward to push him back once he could no longer hold on, and called for her. Slowly, even though his legs showed little improvement yet, my brother began talking more often. One day, I carried herbal soup over while Shuejing gave him acupuncture. Just outside the door, I heard my brother ask in a low voice, "Why bother? My leg can never heal. There's no point clinging to a broken man." Shuejing did not claim she could definitely cure him. She simply lifted her head, eyes bright. "Does a broken leg make you worthless? Do all the battles you fought vanish? What about all your battle strategies? If you cannot march to war, can you not serve as a military advisor? Xia Linyuan, do you believe Duke Xie fled? I don't. No one from Tongcheng would believe it. If you give up here, I will lose all respect for you." My brother refused to let Shuejing look down on him. Starting that day, the old him returned. He cooperated fully with every treatment. He drank every bitter herbal brew and held every strange pose Shuejing asked of him. I brought dinner when she applied the final medicinal plaster. Shuejing was worn out and fell asleep. I watched my brother carefully wrap his arms around her waist and murmur, "Aging, I will never make you sad again. My brother managed to stand. He was still unsteady, but his spirit had returned. With renewed resolve, he could not bear waiting idly indoors. He sent an official report to the court. He knew under current circumstances, the government would never let him lead troops again. So he wrote down everything he learned about northern invaders and all his battle tactics, hoping to aid the new generals. That report helped the new commanders, and it also saved Father. Father had not run away after the battle. He ventured deep into enemy territory and got trapped. A traitor within the army cut off all his messages. Luckily, the newly appointed general brought fresh staff and managed to establish contact with Father. Working together, they won a huge victory. It was our greatest triumph in years of fighting the northern tribes. News of the victory spread, and the whole imperial court celebrated. Before the imperial guards withdrew from our manor, they came to pay respects to my brother, expressing their admiration. The Xia household was once again a distinguished duke's manor with glorious military achievements. My brother's leg fully recovered. A general's duty lay far beyond the capital. He needed to return to the battlefield. Before departing, my brother went to Mother with red cheeks. He wanted to hold a proper wedding ceremony in the capital, to finally share a wedding night with Xuejing. He did not know Mother had already finalized their mutual separation while he was recovering. Mother thought for a moment and smiled. Very well. Let the past stay buried. May a new day begin for you too. Hold a new wedding. Let it mark your fresh start. No one thought Xuejing would turn him down. She could have left during our darkest days, yet she stayed and helped my brother stand again. Now that fortune smiled on us, we ought to repay her. My brother dragged me around every jewelry shop in the capital. He personally forged a pair of matching love locks, hoping to lock his bond with Xuejing forever. On the day the locks were finished, he rushed to find her brimming with joy. But she held a packed bundle and said, "Xia Linyuan, your wounds have healed. It is time for me to go home." I came to witness their happiness. How did everything fall apart? I stammered, "Sister-in-law, this manor is your home." She looked toward my brother. "Do you believe that too?" My brother panicked at the sight of her bundle, yet he spoke firmly. "Of course. You are my wife. This is your home." Xuejing smiled faintly. "Xia Linyuan, our story is quite ironic. When I longed to be your wife, you refused to accept me. Now that I no longer want it, you are willing to acknowledge me. But time cannot turn back. You once planned to cast me aside. Consider your wish fulfilled." My brother grew anxious. "I was foolish and misjudged everyone. Aging, if you are angry, hit me or shout at me. Just please, do not say you will leave." Still, Xuejing would not stay, despite our pleas. She strode toward the gate. My brother chased her and grabbed her wrist. "I know you are upset, but marriage is a serious matter for any woman. Calm down and think it over. Give me one more chance." Xuejing halted. She turned her head and stared at him searchingly. "Marriage matters greatly to a woman. What about you?" My brother fell silent, trying to find the right words. Xuejing did not wait for his reply. She said firmly, "It means nothing to you. You did not wish to marry me, yet you never spoke a word of refusal. You simply painted me as a troublesome woman you needed to get rid of. Instead of dealing with the hassle, you chose to marry me and leave me stranded in the capital. During those months locked in the courtyard, I thought endlessly. You are a great hero. How could you judge me so hastily?" This pain trapped my heart. It hurt so badly, I wished I could tear it out. Then people fell ill before me, and I had to pull myself out of my grief. I healed them, and more people came seeking my treatment. As I tended to the sick, I finally understood. Your life belongs to the battlefield. Marriage is only a tiny part of your world. Yet I abandoned my medical practice just for the sake of loving you. This is my craft's punishment. It punishes me for centering my whole life around another person. This painful journey is half your fault, for you believed lies too easily. Half my fault for giving up so readily. All is laid bare now. Once I step out this gate, we shall never meet again. Our debts are settled." Her words were decisive. When she spoke of never meeting again, my brother's face paled. He refused to believe her. You lie. If you feel nothing for me, why did you work so hard to heal my leg? Shuejing roughly pulled her arm free from his grasp. Xia Linyuan, we truly are not meant to be. I told you before, I follow my master's teachings. A healer cannot turn away those in need. I distinguish kindness and grievance clearly. You protected the people of Tongcheng, so I treated your leg. You are unfit to be a husband, so I will not stay with you. If you still fail to understand, I will speak plainly. I once admired you with all my heart, yet I love you no longer. You did not cherish my devotion back then. Now that you want it, I will not give it. They stared at each other, neither willing to back down. In the end, my brother yielded. He could no longer bear to look at Shuejing. He waved and summoned all the female servants in the courtyard. I was shocked. I quickly stepped in front of Shuejing and demanded, "Brother, what are you doing?" A sad smile crossed his face, yet he remained stubborn. "Aging. We are husband and wife. Under the law, spouses cannot separate so easily. Be patient. Wait for me to return. I will spend my whole life making it up to you." He ordered the servants, "Escort the young madam back to her chambers and watch over her closely. Do not allow her to leave before I come back from Tongcheng." He planned to use his authority as her husband to keep her. But fate had twisted everything. He no longer held that power. Shuejing pulled out the separation agreement and looked at him in disappointment. "Xia Linyuan, if you cannot be my husband, will you not even try to be an honorable man? Ask the warrior on horseback within you. Did you fight bravely against invaders just to become someone like this?" Shuejing still left. One maid she had saved secretly ran to inform Mother. Mother rushed over and slapped him hard across the face. "You reckless boy! Before our ancestors, who taught you to repay kindness with cruelty." That slap stung my brother, and it hurt Mother deeply too. It pained her to let her go, yet she made the decision to set Shuejing free. She looked at my brother with sorrowful eyes. "Linyuan, you must own up to your mistakes. I have mine and you have yours. We are the ones who let such a wonderful woman slip away." Shuejing vanished completely. After my brother returned to the battlefield, he thought she might head back to Tongcheng, since she once dreamed of treating wounded soldiers there. He searched every corner of Tongcheng, yet found no trace of a woman named Shuejing. Year after year passed. He filled his days with longing and endless, hopeless searching. By the 6th year I turned 20. I could not delay my marriage any longer. Mother stayed up all night writing a letter to Father, discussing arranging a husband to move into our household for me. She feared my brother would spend his whole life searching. She refused to force him into marriage, terrified it would spark another tragedy. To find a suitable match, I attended many meetings with prospective suitors. The 3rd floor of Tingyan Tower offered an amazing view, and there I spotted someone I had not seen in ages. Lu Yinghe wore plain gray clothes with wounds on her face. She stood outside a pawn shop, clearly struggling to get by. I once asked Mother if we should look for Lu Yinghe. She simply said calmly, "I once cared for her sincerely. There is no need to hunt her down for punishment. Without our protection, that stolen money would only bring her misfortune." She was far craftier than Mother expected. She was still alive. I had no desire to see her. My mood soured, and I treated the young General Luo, my intended match, coldly. He was one of Father's subordinates. His family background was ordinary, yet he was brave.
He seemed fond of me.
He scratched his head nervously. "Young lady, are you curious about the military camp? I can sneak you in to have a look." He came to the capital to arrange supplies. A small troop under his command camped outside the city. Tongcheng was far away. I had never seen an army camp, so I nodded and followed him. But when I reached the camp gate, my feet froze. Shuejing stood right there, checking and smelling bundles of medicinal herbs. She dressed in men's clothes, yet I recognized her instantly. I hurried toward her, my heart pounding. "Sister-in-law, is that you?" She froze the moment she saw me. She glanced around nervously, then pulled me into a quiet corner. "Do not speak so loudly. If they learn I am a woman, They will hesitate to let me treat the wounded. I was stunned. Have you been staying with the army in Tongcheng all these years? She smiled with the same pride I remembered.
Yes.
I am quite capable, aren't I? I stared at her in disbelief. But brother searched everywhere. Your brother searched every corner, didn't he? She cut me off calmly. I owe this to your father. General Xie is a fair man. He saw his son was in the wrong and recognized my skill as a healer. He arranged for me to disguise myself as a man and serve as an army physician. He promised never to let Xie Linyuan discover my whereabouts. She was alive and so close to my brother. Hope stirred inside me. I hesitated and asked carefully, "Have you forgiven brother?" Xue Jing pointed toward a man standing in the distance. "Young lady Xie, let me introduce you. This is my husband. He is just as skilled as I am." I competed with him testing medicines for a full day and night before he agreed to work alongside me as a military physician. The war in Tongcheng will end soon. Once peace comes, we plan to travel to the northwest to tend to soldiers. 2 healers like us will have our hands full, far away from generals like your brother. If you plan to tell your brother about me, could you wait until we have left? She never answered my question, yet her introduction said everything. She had let go of my brother and moved far ahead. I fought back my tears and nodded to promise her. Someday I would tell my brother. Perhaps he would weep and finally move on. Or maybe he would shed no tears and remain tangled in regret forever. Either way, the woman he lost would never come back.
Honestly, the love story between Xie Linyuan and Xue Jing absolutely broke my heart. Their relationship is such a bittersweet, delicate tangle. He took her devotion for granted when she loved him wholeheartedly, and only cherished her deeply after she chose to walk away for good. She healed his body and saved his whole family, yet she never stayed for his belated apology and love. True love never relies on repayment or pity, and a capable, sincere healer like her deserves a brand new life of her own, not a regretful man's redemption. Thank you so much for listening to today's story. If you love touching ancient romance tales, subscribe to Moonlit Stories for more heartfelt stories. I'll see you in the next chapter.